And a good Monday evening to you, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley here with you. Want to walk you through our weather situation that we have going over the next 2 to even 3 days. What's happening is we have a lot of cold rain that's coming our way to the Piedmont, and occasionally there is going to be enough cold air to kind of mix with this a little bit of frozen precipitation. So this is especially going to be the case Tuesday into Wednesday. During those mornings, that's when we have our News 2 weather impact alert here for Tuesday morning and also through Wednesday morning. There could be some periods of wintry mix. When we say that, we're talking about any sort of combination of rain, sleet, wet snow, or in this case, freezing rain as well. During the afternoons, the temperatures should be warm enough that almost all of us will have regular old rain. But again, we are going to be in the 30s over the next several days, very cold stuff. And so whether or not you're at 32 or 31 is going to make a big difference between the ice and the rain. What's going to happen because of this? Well, we could actually see possibly some slick bridges developing in spots, and you'll want to get a little bit cautious, slow things down, and just be more mindful of what you're doing on the roadways or even just stepping outside the house from time to time, as slick spots really could develop. In the here and now, your current conditions as of Monday at 8 o'clock, temperatures are on their way to cooling off. You can see we're already in the low 30s across a good chunk of the area. 33 in Reedsville, 35 in Asheboro, still hanging on to right around 40 in Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and Lexington. Across the state, there's our cold air that's kind of loading up right now. And when you widen out the view, you kind of get the feel for where this storm is going and how it's going to impact the country. It's getting going right over here, and you'll notice a big bubble of warmth right ahead of it. That means no winter storm is expected for Tennessee or the deep south. But for us, we have this cool air kind of sagging down the east coast right now, and that's going to be what sets the stage for some snow in the DC area and parts of Virginia. And for us, we're looking more along the lines of that mixed bag between rain and some iciness as well. This is the beginnings of the storm getting going from Oklahoma to Arkansas into Tennessee. Just scattered rain showers and some wintry mix going on right now. What they're seeing in northern Arkansas is likely what we will see around here as we go into Tuesday morning. On the water vapor view, we don't show this all that often, but when we do, you're kind of almost getting an X-ray of the atmosphere in a way. What you're seeing is how the air is moving right now throughout the upper levels of the weather world. And you can see this jet stream kind of pushing in from the Pacific Ocean and then just showing that moisture moving all the way from Texas to the Carolinas. So that's what's transporting this rainfall, and you can see it kind of expanding in Arkansas right now toward Memphis and Nashville, Tennessee too. As we just showed you, temperatures are too warm there for any sort of ice, but it is happening in parts of Arkansas. So that's what we're going to be looking at and tracking as we go through the rest of the night tonight and into tomorrow morning. It should start to arrive in our local area. Take a look here. These are your winter weather alerts. We have a winter weather advisory in purple. That's the shaded color that really encapsulates all of the mountains, all of the foothills as well, and over into the Triad. Counties that are included would include Alamance, Guilford, Forsyth, Yadkin, Davie counties. Not included would be Davidson, Randolph, Montgomery, and others off to the south. In these areas, you're likely to just see all rain with this event. But the farther north you go, the better chances for getting some icy accumulation or at least some scattered slick spots. And then you have winter storm warnings across the border into Virginia. So what do we make of this? Why is it coming our way, and what do you need to prepare for? Well, here's the why. High pressure locking into our north. That's what's causing that cool air to move down the east coast, like I just showed you on the temperature map. We have a northeast wind right now. Now, the thing of it is that high pressure won't last that long. It's going to slide away from us. So that steady supply of cold air will get cut off at some point. So we never get truly bitter cold with this thing. But we will be cold enough for possibly some wet snow or sleet pellets early tomorrow morning. So don't be shocked if you wake up and there's a little bit going on outside. You might see a couple snowflakes. You might hear a couple sleet pellets, and that's from 5 a.m. to around 10 a.m. for tomorrow. It starts off pretty spotty, and then we start to fill in the radar as we go into the daytime hours. This would be about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Notice all that rain? The pinkish color indicates some mixing with sleet and freezing rain still happening in colder areas like the mountains and into Virginia as well. That futurecast does keep us wet through the night tomorrow night into early Wednesday and then yet again into Wednesday afternoon. Notice how heavy some of that rain is going to be every now and again. We're going to get a lot of moisture out of this thing, about 1 to 2 inches of rain over the next 3 days. And I say 3 days because this part over here, that's going to slide by on Thursday. So we don't just have the next 2 days, we also have Thursday to get through as well. Let me show you a different computer model. This is our rapid refresh model. It's run every couple of hours from the National Weather Service, and it does have that wintry mix burst in the morning, but notice it's mostly for our Virginia border counties here. This will be 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. A little wet snow, a little sleet up that way. That could create some slick spots on the roads, and that's what you want to watch out for. Now, could that be a little south and include the Triad? Yeah, sure it could. So that's something we want to be on the lookout for early tomorrow and allow a little bit of extra time. As the day wears on, mostly regular old rain, temperatures barely above freezing, just enough to get by through the rest of the day on Tuesday. But notice that pinkish color shading back in. This is Tuesday night. That's freezing rain. Freezing rain that can weigh down power lines and trees, mostly across the Virginia border, but close enough for us to take notice here and watch very carefully tomorrow night into early on Wednesday. This would be 1 o'clock in the morning, early Wednesday. Here's 7, 8, and 9 o'clock. Pretty much just solid rainfall once you get into the daytime hours on Wednesday, but enough of for us to continue to take notice. All right, who gets what with this system? Well, anyone in green, that would include Lexington, Asheboro, areas south, all rain all the time. I don't really think you're getting any sort of mixing down in those areas. However, across the Triad from Burlington to Winston, Greensboro, High Point, and the like, I think there will be a couple periods where you could get some sleet pellets or a little bit of ice accumulation as well. Most likely would be early tomorrow morning, and then yet again tomorrow night into early Wednesday morning. The areas in the darker shade of pink, that would include parts of Wilkes, Surrey, Stokes, Rockingham counties, up around the Virginia border as well. That's where more icing is possible because you're going to be colder, longer throughout the event, and that's where I am forecasting more freezing rain amounts. Across most of the Triad, how much ice will accumulate? Probably just a glaze or so, maybe a couple hundredths of an inch from Greensboro to Winston-Salem and Burlington, maybe as much as a tenth of an inch. Usually, that's not enough to cause too many problems. You don't tend to get power outages out of that. There can be slick spots. You can develop that on your, elevated surfaces like the back deck, the front stairs, those types of things. That can be an issue. But usually the trees and power lines are fine with a glaze to a tenth of an inch. Once you get a little above that, it starts to get a little dicey. And that would include Wilkesboro, Mount Airy, over to Hanging Rock, up northward toward the Virginia border, Stoneville too. A tenth of an inch to a quarter of an inch can't be ruled out up there. And even more than that for the North Carolina mountains and parts of Southside Virginia as well. Up toward Roanoke, they could have a big storm out of this thing. So what's the impact overall? A wintry mix is possible and even likely Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning. Slick bridges, overpasses, yeah, it could be possible. You want to slow down in those areas on the roadways. Now that cold rain is more likely for our afternoon. So if you have to do stuff tomorrow afternoon or even Wednesday afternoon, you should be fine to do it. We're going to have plenty of time where the temperature will be just barely above freezing. How much rain can we see over the next week? Well, it's very significant, 2 to 3, even 4 inches across North Carolina. Parts of the mountains will get the most actually, and they could have some issues when it comes to flooding. That's not something we've talked about all that recently because we've actually been in a bit of a drought, somewhat of a quiet drought. You don't think about this all that much in January or February, but we are technically right now in a moderate drought across most of North Carolina. So some of this rain that we're going to receive over the next week, well, it should be beneficial, and there's not anything bad about that. We are going to get more rain, by the way, for the weekend. This will be for early Saturday, kind of just a wet, raw day with gray clouds across the region. Then Sunday morning, that's a pretty strong cold front. We could get some strong thunderstorms out of that thing before we go back to colder weather heading into next week. I want to leave you with the timeline so we can kind of break this down for you a little bit more closely. Start off with Tuesday morning, of course. That's when we're getting that first push of wintry mix. You could see a couple wet snowflakes, some sleet pellets moving into the area. Watch for some scattered slick spots, especially if it's coming down hard. That could accumulate a little bit. Tuesday afternoon, just a cold rain across the region. It'll be wet, it'll be chilly, it's miserable for sure. Overnight Tuesday, watch for freezing rain. Who gets that? Areas that we showed you on the maps, mostly toward the Virginia border, but be on the safe side even in the Triad. Take it slow and watch us for some updates there. Going into Wednesday daytime, that's when the temperature is above freezing, and we should be in pretty good shape for just a continued miserable cold rain across the area. The last of that rain will get out of here Thursday morning, and actually it's probably done with by about 10 o'clock or so, which means you get some sunshine and warmer air for Thursday afternoon. Valentine's Day looks good, and then we'll go back to some rain for Saturday and for Sunday. We're going to continue to have updates on this for you. We'll be back with another update at 10 o'clock.